Hey everybody, Rex Bear League Project. How the heck are you? Beautiful day today here in Southern Colorado. It looks pretty nice in Florida too, though. I have friends out there and they said they're getting ready for a hurricane. So, Jay, what's going on? Where are you at? 'Cause I don't see any like lawn chairs flying behind you in the background or palm
Well,
trees.
you know what? As much as you can manifest, I manifest it away. It's not my existence, man. I'm not kidding you. I live right in the water in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, if we're gonna get hit, we're gonna feel it right here, right? And I haven't, other than a couple of rain things, man. Nah, we don't even turn on the news to watch it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give that kind of quantum energy and dive into that space. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. Let's talk about that for a minute because a while ago, I was telling everybody not to watch the news, right? I was like, look, because you watch the news and then it gets you depressed, it gets you angry, you're watching what they want you to watch. And people are like, well, I watch all the news channels, Rex. That way I know what they're all saying. And I'm like, yeah, but they all come from the same place for the most part. The AP kind of puts out a news feed and then the different channels will come up with their own ideas and their own spin on things. But
Yeah,
but with that in mind, I thought, you know what? People like entertainment. People
right.
like to have entertainment. So they turn on the news because it's a form of entertainment or it's some type of opiate or some type of calming mechanism, even though it gives them high blood pressure half the time. It's weird how that works. I don't know how it works. But the quantum manifestation, what you just said. So you put something on the news, you
Right.
get 50 million people to watch that and focus that energy on it, and they're actually manifesting. It's magic. I mean, that is truly 21st century magic. And
Correct.
last time you were on the show, you were talking to me about how you'll go into like manifestation mode, but you'll do it through sometimes sleep and these different mindsets, these different states of mind, which could be looked at and perceived as possibly different dimensions. So we're not going to talk about the quantum details of these different dimensions, but I really like how you said, look, this is what I do, this is how it works. I had a lot of people ask me to get you back on the show because they want to know more about this. So what I thought is let's take both. Let's take a little bit of the science and let's take what Jay's doing and let's connect the dots together. So, people that are geeky like me that have pocket protectors, but they just don't wear them for the show. Like I can talk a little bit about some of the schematics of this. So this is what I want to show you folks. This is absolutely incredible. And this is from Rochester, New York. Rochester physicists find spooky action at a distance at CERN. I'm just going to read the quick excerpt here. The researchers have confirmed that quantum entanglement persists between top quarks, the heaviest known fundamental particles. An experiment by a group of physicists led by the University of Rochester physics professors Regina Demina had produced a significant result resulting to quantum entanglement, an effect that Albert Einstein called spooky action at a distance. So they're basically saying, yeah, it's real. And here's directly from CERN. You can see the graphic here. I think this is incredible because it kind of reminds me of what you're talking about, Jay. When you say like you manifest things and you make it happen, we're all connected in some way. So you're like tapping into that and pulling it in. But I want to hear how you do it because I don't know, I want some of that. Like
Yeah,
hook
I
me
guess
up,
so. It's
man. Hello.
it's a constant. I don't want to use constant because constant feels like it's like a work, but it's not. It's like it's a journey and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So, for example, like the essence that I use when you manifest, you look for validation. Did it really work? Like, did it really work? And so, for me, I always look at things very. I'm very tapped into that multidimensional side of myself, but I also understand we live in a third dimensional, very much boom, boom, boom world. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like it looks like a frog, it is a frog kind of thing. So you work with parameters and try to balance it out. What I look for when I manifest is, okay, when I do something, how quick is it going to be measurable for me? Do I have to sit there and say, okay, well, if I just put the thought out to the universe and wait for it, I don't know about all that, man. I'm looking for like, okay, I'm an instinct kind of or very quickly kind of reaction kind of guy, right? I have very little patience, I should say. So, when I look for things, I try to find out what's going to work the best. So here's a couple of things some upcoming tips, I guess, if you would, I could share with your audience that I've used when I fall asleep at night. I'll show you the ultimate one or share the ultimate one in a minute. But when I fall asleep at night, this is powerful. Okay, I love this, and I almost. So this sounds weird because people always like, oh, I can't wait for a restful sleep. I'm almost looking forward to waking up in that 3 to 4 hour kind of thing like that. And I'll tell you why. What's been happening is this for me. for a while. Like saying, I get into meditation. So I used to turn my TV on and just wait for to sleep or try to struggle or try to read or whatever, force myself. And I said, well, you know what? I'm just resisting the natural flow of things. Let me try something on. Let me try some form of meditation, right? And I'm not like the meditator that sits under a tree or waits for the full moon or whatever. I just lay down in my bed where I'm comfortable and I meditate. When I meditate, usually about 15 to 20 minutes, just getting into that place of just complete relaxation, surrender, if you would, I can feel my consciousness start to shift. But before I do that, I set an intention. I'll say something like, hey, I have this show with Rex. Rex, I'm coming to meet you at a higher consciousness right now. Let's chat about what's going to happen. And then I see these things transform. So what happens is I get into meditation so I can now flip to another side of I don't even want to call it higher self because I don't know higher, lower, whatever. It's just a different place, right? So I flip to this other side of myself, and I always seem to get these things, man. Like whatever I set my intention for, it manifests very quickly, like often in the same morning. So I would recommend to people, if they haven't tried it on, if you start to treat this as a video game, and you won't, number one, you won't take it so seriously, so you won't judge yourself, right? You'll just learn to have fun with it. That's the most important thing. People try to, it's like almost like I see like when people are at spiritual events or religious events, you see them taking notes. They're like scrambling to take notes, right? On a book. I'm like, well, you're kind of missing the whole point in some degree. You're supposed to feel it. Allow yourself to feel it and just kind of be and allow that if we're all entwined in some way, you're going to get knowledge and you'll get drawn to the knowledge because, so I find out that's been working very effectively for me, man. It's just going into that meditative state, really bringing down that information. And then, man, I have the best sleeps ever through the rest of the day. And that's about an hour. So I just want to encourage people who have sleep issues or kind of struggle with that. It's a very effective way. You'll start to enjoy. You'll wake up refreshed. You'll wake up with downloads. You'll wake up with inspiration. You'll wake up with, where did I get that from? You'll wake up with that kind of experience, man. It's beautiful. So just try that on. You have nothing to lose other than the sleep you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So that you're not getting right now. So there's that. For the ultimate catalyst for me in April has always been like, how do you manifest something, right? Like what is the energy? Because people talk about, well, you got to have this energy, you got to be vibrating at a certain level, and if you lose that vibration, you'll lose the manifestation because the vibrations won't match. I'm like, wow, that's that's a lot, right, for people. What we found out was this works with predictability, and it's very, not being a science guy, it feels very scientific, if you would, but having a show, okay, like kind of like what you do, kind of like what we do, right? Having a show, right? What that does is, like, when I'm, like, for example, like I'm talking to you right now, I'm at a high, I hope your audience can feel it, but I'm at a very high vibrational state. Okay. I'm tracking at a place vibrationally, right? I'm not thinking about what just happened. I'm not thinking about 5 minutes from now. I'm in the present moment with you. I'm tracking with my universe. Right now, my universe is feeling my vibe. Right now, my universe is feeling my energy. Right now, my universe feels that I feel really good. I'm in it. I'm in that moment. The universe is giving me more of what I want to feel good. It's projecting, it's grabbing my thoughts right now. I literally am tuning into this antenna of sorts. Okay, so we do shows often, a lot of times, because it's soul searching, but it does do this because when you're having these moments, you'll find out that, and I see this play out time and time and time and time again. People do stuff. They're like, oh my God, my life just changed. All of a sudden they thought about doing a show because that's what people do in today's world, but they didn't realize that, holy smokes, I'm making money at this thing. I'm manifesting. I feel healthier because of a result of this. There's so many benefits of having a show. It's like the people talk about like anti-inflammatories of, like, we talked about Live Good, like that Factor 4 is an ultimate anti-inflammatory thing. Having a show is like an ultimate spiritual anti-inflammatory. It really is, because it helps you from the levels of your spiritual awareness, because you're tapped in. Like I talked to you, whether you know it or not, you're tapping into something, whatever that is for you. You get so much emotional healing from it, because whatever's going on for you in that day, because of the fact that you're at that vibrational state, you vibrated that low vibrational feeling away. And when you walk away from it, you'll find out it's gone. And you think about it as like, well, what was I even thinking about? What was I even upset about? Right. And then from there, when you're at those places, you meet other people at a very high vibrational place. When you meet other people and you match vibrations, That's where magic happens, Rex, and that's where prosperity happens. Because now what's happening is it's like, you know, it's not everybody in alignment, doom and gloom. It's everybody in alignment, upbringing and prosperity. It's a very different dynamic to look at.
It reminds me of Edgar Cayce. When you describes the state you go into sometimes, like that meditative state, Edgar Cayce would go into these meditative states and he would have these visions and downloads and information that he would share with people as he was in that state. And when he would wake up a lot of times or come back from that, that was information that he was never privy to before that time, ever, unless
Right.
another lifetime or something like that. But that's a whole other podcast. So I find that absolutely fascinating. And it reminds me, I mean, I've read a lot of neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis books. I've read a lot on hypnosis, and you kind of putting yourself into that hypnotic state, and your body is an antenna. Literally, your body is an antenna. So you're thinking certain thoughts, you're putting that energy out, and then you have that quantum connection. Once again, you're literally you're pulling in from the universe that energy that you want to receive. And I find that that's remarkable. And those are some of the keys that have been lost, I feel, throughout the years, as people have to just, put their nose in the grind and work 40, 50, 60 plus hours a week, plus everything at home and outside of the house. It's you have a tough time being able to do that.
You do, and it's not your purpose in life. Okay, this is what I can say: is work is work. I mean, we all work at some point, but at some point we find what's called our purpose, our dharma, whatever every faith calls it. I mean, everybody's got, but at some point we can all agree that there's a purpose to life, right? You know what I mean? We got to find that purpose, and then when you think about it, yeah, people work. They look at like we all think about like, well, yeah, of course we need multiple streams of income coming on, but we can't really process multiple jobs. You know what I mean? Like, how do you even do that? You know what I mean? How do you have like 5 40-hour jobs going on? That's a 200 hour week. Where what a show does for you is it allows you that privilege, that availability to have one show, which allows you to have that experiences like as if you're having multiple jobs. Because if you think about a show, as like, and these are for people right now that are at that stage in their life that are like, I can't work anymore doing this. I don't know how much longer I can take this. I don't know what, I'm not finding my purpose. I'm just working. I feel like I'm just coming home. I'm waking up. I'm going through the motions. I'm seeing my spouse for an hour and a half of dinner, and I crash and I hit the reset button. I do it again, kind of thing. And they know. I mean, listen, we all kind of go through a lot of us. Most of us do, but when you get to that point, you start to realize that there's a different purpose. And the show for me has really got me to reconnect with me. It's taught me a lot of this. Like, so every time when I come on your show and I think about these things, I've interviewed people, yes, but it allows me, because I've become an open channel to a lot of things. And I know people will say, well, you're open channel to everything. You learn your discernment very quickly. Trust me, you really do, because you know what feels good, what you're doing is right for people, what what you need to stay away from. But you become this, and you start to learn what it is your purpose is on this planet. You start to really focus in on that. You start to really enjoy these things. I don't believe that we're here to punch a time clock. Maybe it's the point in our lives to learn our ultimate trade, but I don't believe we're here to punch a time clock to be able to just kind of like really get into a point of like, I gotta ask someone when I can go on vacation. Can I take a break? I mean, at my age, I'm 53, and I can't even process the thought about someone saying to me, asking someone saying, hey, can I take my lunch break right now? You know what I mean? And I know people have to do that to survive and do what they can do for their family. But I'm just here to say with you, there's other ways. If you can't stomach that lifestyle and you want to learn how to manifest, if you can't, look, just blunt as hell, man. If you can do a show, you got voice, you can do it. Do a show. It'll change your life. I've seen it over and over again. It's changed my life significantly. It's multiple streams of revenues coming in from that one show. I mean, to paint a picture for you, that show's like your store. People come into your store to watch. They now say, I like this person. This person's good. Let me keep coming back to the store. So when you start to talk about different things, whether it be, maybe people want to talk about some products that they want to talk about, or other things that they can make. Maybe they want to become a consultant or a life coach or whatever they want to do, right? This is how people buy in today's world. I mean, look how many people your audience have, and to put an example, how many of the audience watching your show have bought products and services from you, if you would, because they know, like, and trust you, right? So they know it's because of that, because you have put in the time in to say, this is the way I want to build a relationship with my audience. That's what you do. If you are looking for that, and that manifestation, and there's ways to be able to really make a difference in your life, that's the way to do it. I feel like, Rex, if there was another way, I would have found it. I'm pretty resourceful guy. You know what I mean? But it all gets back to doing a show, man. It really does. Opens you up at a high level, vibrates you at a high level, has you meet your vibrational matches at a high level. Prosperity happens. Things don't seem to feel like work anymore. They feel like manifestation.
Well, I got to say, I mean, I've been doing the podcast with YouTube now for about 8 years consistently, like full time, overtime. And
Right.
the amount of people that I've met, amazing. The information that I've learned, amazing. The way my mind is now versus 8 years ago, in so many different levels, I've changed a lot as far as my perception for reality. I've learned a lot. I've had so much fun, and I'm just getting started, man. So
Yeah.
the cool thing about this time in life, with technology and the way that the world turns, I was just looking at some news. The stock market is just taking a hit. I mean,
Yeah.
people are freaking out. And if you've got a ton of money in the stock market and you didn't sell in time, I could understand why. But how many people watching podcasts, or how many people out there that have a full-time job or work overtime, or or in the grind, how many of you are really being affected by these huge market crashes right now?
Right.
Like, I mean, I get it. You got a 401k, and if you didn't put it into gold like I told you to already, hey, that's on you, buddy. But anyway, so like if you're watching your 401 kind of dwindle down, remember but what happened in 2008? I mean, this just kind of reminds me of what happened in 2008. It's like this up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you can find ways to diversify, and having a show is pretty cool too. And I'll tell you why. Because if you've got a show, not only can you talk, like, use your voice. Do you want to use your voice, or do you want to go in the corner and like sit there? If you use social media, you want to use your voice. Like, how many of you out there are always complaining on Facebook and Twitter and all these other platforms? You're like, yeah, nah, nah. But that's all you do. If you start a show, like, you're the man, you're the
Right.
woman, you're the
Right.
person that can go out there and give your opinions, and then have people come in, and then you can share ideas, and you'll learn a lot from it. And it's, for me, oh my gosh, man, I run out of stuff to watch on TV, and I'm like, this sucks. I got to go
Yeah.
make a TV show right now.
100%. I'm telling you, be your own superstar, because, like you said, kind of getting back to what people do on social media. There's this whole, like, well, I'm on social media. Well, so is 8 billion other people. You know what I mean? So if you have a show, though, it takes you out of that, right? It takes you out of that world. I look. It's just very pragmatically speaking, with people. It's we've always been pretty, you know I mean, there's a strong sense of empathy for people wanting to succeed. You have parents, you have children, people want to live life good. And, I tell you, I love seeing people do well in life, especially those that are breaking through and turn that corner. And we strive for things like that. That's kind of why we created the network of really just helping people really just get into a world of finding their voice, finding their freedom, and letting them know, like, you know what, if you just wait for it, if you really shift, because most of this is mindset. It really, really is mindset, right? If you can shift your mindset, you'll start to see a world that you've never imagined. You'll start to see prosperity that you've never imagined. I gotta, I left a very lucrative business, man. I'm not kidding you. I had an insurance agency with 50 sales reps and a money lending company. And I sold it because it was getting time for the internet, right? And the internet was just starting to come out 2009, 10. And I knew I needed to really consider doing business, and I was at a place to be able to do that. But when I did sell it, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? How am I going to replace that kind of money, right? And it was like, and and I was like, man, I was like, what do I do? And I started doing a show, and it just, the healing started to happen, the emotional healing, right? It was like I felt like very emotionally healed out of it. Really was the first things. Then the financial stuff started coming. I'm like, oh my God, there's money coming out of this thing. You know what I mean? And it was like, then it started to get bigger, and then things started to happen. You go through like anything in life, but you start to figure out. But it was amazing to see. And I got to tell you something. When you, as a person, whoever's watching this, if they decide to do this, when you feel that you're getting paid for your voice, man, you are liberated like nobody's else. You literally, if you didn't believe in something, you start believing in something. You know what I mean? Because it's no longer about you being physical about something. And, and I work with people. I tell you, there's a lady I'm working with. She's helping her with her show. She does stuff on grave sites, on the history of grave sites. I mean, your passion, whatever your passion is, turn that passion into a profit is really what you want to think about, though. And really, and that's where we've been finding out from a manifestation scenario, like, what do you do? So there's the manifestation, there's the techniques. Look, you can meditate yourself, you can do plant medicine, you can do all these different things to get yourself to these points. I'm telling you, everybody, nothing will keep you at the sustainability of having your show. It's where it's at. It's where it's at, Rex.
Well, so we just did a really awesome show with Sheldon Moore, and I want to call him Sri Sheldon Moore, but he says, no, you can't call me Sri Sheldon because that's a specific title. But he puts together, like, we've probably done 30 hours worth of podcasts, and
Wow.
he is just such an amazing human being. The 5 hour show that we just did, folks, is on Gnostic TV, so you can actually go there and watch it yourself. For Leap Project listeners, just use the code Leap Project and you'll get a 50% discount, 50% off. I will leave the link in the video description box. I know a lot of you are going to want to watch that. And then I've got some shorts also of the interview up on our YouTube channel, so make sure to watch those. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about, like, your manifesting. So do you do this like in the daytime, or do you do this before at nighttime when you go to bed?
All day long, all day long. I'm in manifestation. Like, if I need to, like, what this has all trained me to the point of doing is, at any point in time, I don't have to sit there and meditate, man. Like, if I need something, I don't have to sit there. I simply can learn to close my eyes, connect with the consciousness, project my consciousness to whomever, whatever I need to do to see that result. It's like you got to learn to trust yourself, right? And that's the thing. And you got to learn to realize that this is not hokey dokey, airy fairy stuff. This is, people are going to have their opinions. That's fine. Whatever works for you, whatever gets you to the day. All I'm saying is what works for me and what I can show this work for me. If I'm going into something, I'll take a second before I go into a meeting or before I go into a conversation, and I'll get always to that consciousness level. Okay, I'm projecting with that person's consciousness. So again, I can meet them at a very, that's the whole key. It's meeting whoever I'm about to talk to at a different level of consciousness, not here where there's the distractions, there's the surroundings, there's the dogs barking, there's the babies crying, there's all this, the everything, you know what I mean? The traffic. It's meeting them at a very clear, focused consciousness. So when we do meet, we bring it back down. And so now we're having a conversation at a third dimension. It starts to happen. I feel like by doing that, what's been happening is by experiencing consciousness at that level, the universe blesses me with the manifestations, because it's realizing that I am tapping into my my God-like source, if you would. So it's like I'm acknowledging the fact that I'm a divine creator also. You know what I mean? I'm part of divinity. So I'm acknowledging that, where a lot of people, again, it gets to mindset. A lot of people don't think they're part of divinity. They think they were created by, and, or, you know what I mean? And that's it. And they have to, they have to do that. And again, I'm not judging that by any means. All I'm saying is, like, look at the way your life is right now. And if you feel like, whatever principles you're applying, if you're, for me, I feel like we talked about in the last show, Rex, is I feel like really that I live like we are gods and goddesses. Me and April live like gods and goddesses. And then I don't mean from a worshiping standpoint. I mean from the standpoint of, like, look, I take on the principle of, like, I respect and believe in the fates because I know they applied it for whatever reason they were there. So there's always a sprinkle of truth in something being said, I believe, right? But at the end of the day, we're here living a life. And, what if we are this universe, boom, created, right? And then we are part of that universe. And I got to live like that. And I feel like that's what I do. I live like I am the universe. You know what I mean? I don't live like I need to get on my knees and pray for something, or wish for something, or do this for something. I create it as a co-creator. If I'm subscribing to that way, that's how I manifest. I subscribe to the fact of, like, look, let me go out and get it. You know what I mean? And by doing that, I'm acknowledging my faith. I'm acknowledging the person or entity or whatever that co-created with me. So I'm not disrespecting this any way along the way. I'm simply saying, I'm aligning with what everybody else has been talking about. It's just I'm putting it to action. I'm testing out my faith, my universe, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we can religiously pull out a million different verses all day long to talk about this. I'm moving. That's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I want to, there's a lot of stuff in all those verses, and that's fine. I know each one of them. Those have been debated for 2,000 years plus, and they'll be debated for 2,000 more. So whatever, you know what I mean? All I'm saying is like connecting consciousness means that you're connected to source. When you're connected with source, you get what you want out of life. You start to see things measurable. Connecting, all I'm saying is the fastest way I feel like to connect with source, getting those shows going on. It's a quick connection. It's like a beeline. Boom, right from go. And then what happens is you start to realize it, you start to measure it, you say, that felt good. Oh my gosh, I did something really good out of this. I met someone great out of this. I mean, all day long, I meet people that have made incredible wealth from shows that they never thought possible, met their soulmate on shows that they never thought possible, gotten millions of dollars in donations that they never thought possible for their fun. I mean, all of these things happen because they said, you know what, let me hit the record button and let me go. That happened because of that. It's just like that, just like that, man.
Hello. Okay, so check this out. What you're telling me is this is what I think is so cool. So, folks, I had Jay on a few weeks ago, and we were talking a bit about manifestation. And I asked him if he had studied much on Hermetics and like the ancient, maybe any ritualistic magic or grimoires or anything. And Jay's like, no. Well, check this out. What you're telling me sounds so much like what many people that are a part of certain mystery schools or orders or just natural at magic and manifestation. So this is the universe to the right. You can see to the left is a brain cell, to the right's the universe, to the left is DNA, to the right's double helix, to the left's an eye, to the right's a crab. There's so much in the universe that mimics here, like as above, so below. So when you hear the term as above, so below, if you have a certain religious belief that you think that's bad or evil or something, that's not what they're talking about. As above, so below is referring to how the universe mimics itself through here, let me just give you the quick 7 principles here. What you're talking about sounds very similar to this. Hermeticism, it's a philosophy that includes 7 ancient principles that are considered timeless and universal. Mentalism, the universe is mental and all is mind. The principle is similar to idealism and suggests that thoughts come before anything can exist, forming physical reality. It is also believed that God is consciousness or thought, and the universe is a manifestation of God's mind. Correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. Vibration, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Polarity, everything is dual, has poles, has an opposite. Opposites are different in degree, but identical in nature, and extremes meet. Rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. So if you see something above that looks like DNA, for example, NASA just discovered these weird, okay, there we go. Did I stop recording? No, good. NASA discovered these weird X patterns in our magnetosphere, and it looks like DNA, and it's plasma. Yeah. Plasma acts like DNA. So we're all connected, man. You've just found a way to somehow tap into these manifestation lines, and you're just like pulling it in, man. You're like fishing. Bring it on in.
I don't have the, it's just my mind, right? My mind's not geared at this stage in my life to read much, you know what I mean, or process information at that level. So for me, I got to feel it, right? So, and that's what I look at. I notice that my relationship with feeling something is what attracts it. You know what I mean? I can read it all day long, and that's fine. I can read every book I got in the world, and I got a lot of books. I've interviewed like 3,000 people, and I got a lot of books on everything I need to. But and that's good, but I don't. It's like I try stuff like this on, and I know it sounds kind of funny to people, but if I want to go something like, and I want to connect with something, let's say I want to learn about Hermeticism, which I didn't know, is that I would grab a book on it, and I would literally put it under my pillow, kind of like what Edgar Cayce did, you know what I mean? And I would see and say, can I absorb it that way? You know what I mean? Can I absorb information and absorb some of what's getting in there, so when it does come time for me to apply it, will it be absorbed, right? So that's how I take on information. I take on information by interviewing people, because I get years of someone's wisdom in a short period of time, right? And then, but then also too, I literally just put this stuff under when I need to know something, and I'm like, okay, where do I go with this? I'll put the information under my pillow. I learned that from the Edgar Cayce. He brought it up, and I just leap with it. I'm like, okay, let's see if this works. We're never going to know if what we talk about works unless we test what we talk about, see if it works. We have to test it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been just testing these things. And also, you know, when you take a look at as below as below as it is in heaven kind of thing like that, think about our conscious mind being here and our subconscious mind being below. Manifestation comes from the subconscious mind, right? So it's gonna come from what the universe gives you, what you believe, right? So what you believe you are. Okay, never gives you what you want, it gives you who you believe you are, right? So if I believe I'm something, it's coming from my subconscious mind. I can't just read that stuff enough, Rex. Meaning I can't just sit there and read and chant 110 times every day with the moonlight and all that stuff and saying, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am wealthy. I mean, you know, I gotta just internalize it, man. I gotta find a way to make it my it's gotta hit me at a cellular level. And again, that's the things like the show, for example. That stuff hits me at a cellular level. It gets me to just get it. It gets me to internalize it. It gets me to feel it. And that's what does it, because that's what has to happen. When I'm at that point, my subconscious flips from a conscious doubting kind of, oh, am I going to get this? Am I going to feel this? Do I have this? Do I not have this? To a knowing, which is the subconscious. And that's when I'm at that subconscious, and you can get those mindsets together, I guess, if you would. The scientists on this show will know more about what I'm trying to say than anything. But you know, when you can kind of merge those things, that's where you got the direct line. That's where the fishing wire goes out and you start to reel it in, man. You got to get the subconscious mind. That subconscious mind has got to believe everything you want to the core, that it's like almost to the point like you're in shock that you don't have what you want. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Mindset, man. That's powerful. Folks, if you've never heard of Initiation in Hermetics by Franz Barden, it is essentially one of the best books out there to for exercises to practice. And Franz Barden, he passed, I think, in the 60s. You know, he was actually captured by Hitler, um,
Oh
and
wow.
and Hitler's cronies, and he used this Kabbalah technique and almost got out of it. Like, put them all under some weird spell, and then they were about ready to get out, and then the spell broke, and they got them again. But he did live through that, and he talked a little bit about it after. What an amazing, like, you can read up these books, you can read about stuff, but until one of the things he says that matches with what you're talking about, I think is wonderful. That's why I'm bringing him up. Is he says you can read stuff all you want, but until you actually practice it and use it for applications, it's not really going to matter much. I mean, it'll be cool, you'll know about it, but it's not really going to do anything. But oh, I read this.
Yeah, you'll PhD yourself to death till you're broke. You know what I mean? And you know, this is look. You know, you're supposed to look. Honestly, you will. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, how many? There's an. You know, sometimes enough is enough. At some point in time, you got to realize that you know all of these things that people go through, and it sucks because it's a lot of the training that has been bought up, or a quote unquote programming, which I'm sure you know a lot of great guests on your show talk about. Is that a lot of that programming where people struggle with that whole you know wealth consciousness, and you know they're supposed to I better not ask, or I don't want to celebrate my success because it may make the other people you know feel bad about them not having success. Well, try on the fact that if you do celebrate your success, it'll give those other people and say, oh wow, there is a way. Maybe you're showing them hope. Try on that thought process versus a lot of most people try to go there. So you know, a lot of it is mindset, man. It really is. But manifestation comes from what my evidence has shown me, if you would, from all of this, from practical appliance, is that if you celebrate life, you celebrate the universe, you celebrate existence, you celebrate everything, your successes, you know, in a crazy way, that it continues to celebrate you back because it's raining, it's showering upon you all the blessings. If you hide from it, you got one foot in, you got one foot out. Oh, I better not, or I better not tell anybody this, or you know this. I mean, yeah, you know, listen. At some point in time, you know, you want to wake up in life when if you're especially if you're at that stage in life where you're in your what's called accumulation years, which is you're still making cash, right, to set yourself up, you know, go all in, go full throttle, boom, go all in. And, you know, don't worrying about what people say about you that you don't even know. I mean, why would you even care? Right. I mean, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, just go to what you want. I mean, surround yourself with the right environment. Like, you know, the basics and all this stuff is, surrounding yourself. You want to be wealthier, surround yourself with wealthy people. You want to be healthier, surround yourself with healthy people. I mean, these are some basic core principles that you take on. But if you can do a show, and I would say if you're ready to, look, I mean, I've dedicated my life to this. I really have. I mean, it's a very passionate topic for me, is because I've seen enough people when we work with them, train them, really having their own show, watching their lives change, mind, body, spirit, and prosperity, Rex. It's amazing to feel like, you can be that gift, and hopefully people watching this, if they decide they do that, then they will kind of share ways. That's all we got is each other. Share some ways that work,
Yeah, absolutely. Be kind to one another. Just the name, humankind. Think about that. You, manifestation of God, man, manifest, human manifest, and then kind, humankind. Be kind to everybody. Be kind. Be nice to other people. I want to show off Gnostic TV real quick. I actually, Jay, I'm excited about this because Jay is going to give free memberships to anybody that goes to the website, gnostictv.com, and get free membership. You'll get access to a catalog of awesome programs. And the one that I did with Sheldon, I was just going to point out right here, it's almost 5 hours, folks. So if you want to check out the website, here it is, gnostictv.com, and then just sign in, get started, join now, actually, and then sign in after you put your name and info.
No credit card, just put in your information, put an email so we can notify you when there's new stuff coming in, and that's simple as that. But I'd like to, man, honestly, if people would like to learn more about, I'm happy to help. I mean, this is my purpose. It really is. It's just my purpose is what I do, right? So if people want to learn more about, what it's like to have your own show, or they'd like to talk about their ideas and what their things are, or if they have their own show and they're just like, well, I'm having it, but I don't know what to do with it anymore. You know what I mean? Or it's just not there. I'm happy to help. I guess my number can be there. They can text me and just mention Rex show. I would recommend from a call to, if you can, so I can identify, just type in if you text me, just put Rex and then put show, and I'll know exactly what it is. We'll set up a time and let's talk about what it is your vision is. Talk about your life, what it is you want to do. I'm happy to talk to you for real, because we never know. For us, when we talk to people, we're looking for our vibrational matches in life, because we know that's how things just get more apparent. And you never know when you meet that persons.
Right on, man. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Jay. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the recommend on the Live Good. I just finished up that mushroom coffee. That is really good. And it's organic.
Yeah. Have you tried the Factor 4 yet?
Nope. Just ordered it. I ordered some Factor 4, some Reds, and I ordered the super electrolytes. So
yeah. April tried the super electrolytes because she orders this stuff from another place, and she's been using it for years, and she said it was just as good. And that's it. So with the beets, she mixes it with the beets, before workout. And then I use the mushroom coffee, and I Factor. That's beautiful stuff. But yeah, everybody, just thanks for having me on. I appreciate you, Rex, bringing me into your world as always, brother. All the love in the world to you.
Yeah.
Everybody watching.
Dude, have a beautiful day, and watch out for the hurricane. But I guess whatever you're doing is working out for you. Do you have a concrete bunker somewhere that you can go to just in case you need to?
I think so. I figure it's all good, man. I've been here long enough where I'm not, like I said, I do watch the news for entertainment purposes only. I really do. I kind of watch it from time to time. I just making sure, like I don't take it too seriously. Like you said, the stock market. I mean, how many people really does that affect the day, right? You know what I mean? So it's like I just, just a global wide net of drawing people into the matrix I try to avoid so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I got one other question I want to ask you.
Yeah, of course.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
When you're in a world of synchronicity, that it becomes totally apparent. Like, what does that mean to you?
For me, it means that my multidimensional versions of myself are starting to come into existence. Everything's in alignment. Alignment is, to me, is that I think we talked about on the last show, is like when I bring in the healthy Jay, the wealthy Jay, this Jay, the more stoic Jay, the kind Jay, the business Jay, the spiritual, whatever that is. That means that I'm bringing in that multidimensional side of myself. That's what that means to me. It makes me. For me, it's further evidence that I'm bringing that what I'm doing is working, is by helping bring in those sides. Because here, as you see us, we got lightness, we got darkness, and we know that, right? That's within us. It's inherently within us. We're we're assholes sometimes, and we're the nicest person in the world sometimes. It is what it is, right? But if we can start to balance in those people, and the key is balancing these things, you know, and using them through there. So that's what I believe it is. I just believe it's, you know, bringing in those things. Have fun with this stuff. I mean, like I said, don't overanalyze it. You know, there's something called how do you say it? It's analysis paralysis. Paralysis by analysis. Yeah, there you go. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Just treat it like a video game. It'll be more refreshing in your life. You'll find it. Your days, even you'll find out things will happen. And when you start to not react to life, because what if you are God? You know what I mean? What if you are a version of God? Then you know what? You're not designed to struggle. You're not designed to wait for the afterlife for things to get better. You know what I mean? You're just not. You know what I mean? You're not designed for that. You're designed to experience it here.
Now, just so people don't get upset that Jay just said that, because I know I have people that are very passionate about their beliefs, and I love you for it, folks. But this is Luke 17:21. The kingdom of God is within you. Jesus said this in response to the Pharisees asking when the kingdom of God would come, and some interpret it to mean that the kingdom is within people's hearts. Folks, heart's a beautiful thing. Humankind, be kind, right? Be kind.
I tell you, yeah, be good with it. But yeah, you know, just again, respecting everybody's faith. Just know this, as if at the end of the day, whatever your faith is, you know, love it and be disciplined with it and run with it. But look at what the faith teaches you. Does it teach you to suffer well, or does it teach you to just enjoy heaven as it is on earth? You know what I mean? Whatever, you know, whatever you subscribe to. But if it does a heaven on earth thing, then bring it to you. You know.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, Jay, I hope you have a beautiful day, and keep being
brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Take care. See you over at Gnostic TV. Nanny.